So although this is our koi wildlife pond, we still have to do a certain amount of maintenance. And we find about every third year, second to third year, we have to get in and pull out some of these irises and rushes. If we don't, they'll just take over the whole pond. Water lilies we don't touch. They're fine. They're not going to get too big. In fact, a little bit bigger wouldn't hurt. But yeah, so we find end of August is a good time. The water's still warm-ish. Yeah, it's actually not bad once you get in. And then these things, these are both the irises and, well, mostly the rushes, you've got to pull them. You can't cut them. If you cut them, the rhizome, the stem, I don't know if you can see from here, but there's another new shoot. It'll creep along the base and then pop itself up further out into the water. So yeah, there's a huge root system on these things. So I just literally pull as hard as I can, shake off worst of the dirt because I can't lift them otherwise. And then, yeah, dispose of. And these last year, wow, okay, the size of that. That's, gives you an idea of how big these things and how quickly they would take over your whole pond. And they're heavy. They're really heavy. And I don't want to...
Don't fall.
No, I know, that would make really good video, wouldn't it? It's warmed up. Or I've got used to it. It's actually not bad. So yeah, so I've just come across one side. I'm going to do the whole pond. I'll work my way around, pull out what I don't think we want. Over the other far side, there's quite a lot that needs to come out. We do every so often, we'll pull out some of this hornwort when it gets a little too invasive. And it does tend to bung up where the skimmers are either end. So every so often we'll actually reach in. And what we use for that is I just get a stick, a long stick like this. I'll put a couple of screws in the end. And then I'll just drop the stick in and twist it around the hornwort, pull it out. It does quite a nice job. And that way we can reach in. So yeah, I'm just going to whiz around the outside. Well, go around the outside. I'll get it all cleaned up and then we'll come back. But it's going to give you a little bit of a background on the pond. Julie, you got a wasp just landed on your... I think we have more nasty, unwanted bugs, insects here now than we do nice ones. I guess that's what happens when you put in a really nice habitat for them. So yeah, so it's going to give you a bit of a background. So then we started digging the pond 2016, about this time of year actually. Got it pretty well dug out, but ran out of time. So we left it over the winter, and then we went through following spring, and it was 100 by 50 foot, 45 mil butyl liner that we put in the bottom. Underneath that, lots and lots and lots of carpet. So we did some carpet diving at the local carpet stores after I'd been in and asked. And we certainly got some funny looks jumping into bins and throwing out carpet. And then the whole of the bottom of the pond was covered with river rock. I think it was about 35, 40 tons of it. And Julie did all that herself with a bucket.
I was so excited to get started.
Yes, I know.
And then I realised how long it was going to take.
Yeah, you soon didn't think it was quite so much fun.
No.
So anyway, that was 2017. And we put in the first pump, which was the one that's just here in front of me. So with pump and skimmer. Now this one was actually rated at 8,000 gallons an hour at the top of the waterfall. So that was fine to start with. But what we were finding was with the wind, a lot of the wind coming from the south, which is that way, we needed another skimmer over in the far side. So we put another one right over the far side, and that one's only rated at, I think that one's rated at about 4,500 to 5,000 at the head of the waterfall. A smaller pump, but that one does get a lot more debris in it. It's one of my jobs I had to do every single morning. As soon as I come out, I come to the pond and I clean out the skimmer baskets. Now, if I can just make my way over here without falling over. And it's just a case every single morning I just will come in, and you can see already I just cleared this out 5 minutes ago just to pull out of this debris. I don't take the skimmer basket out and scoop out the rubbish with my hands and just put it on the side. Don't take it away because there may be lava in it, there may be good bugs in it, and it gives them a chance to come back in. And then on the very back, I don't know if you can see it, we have the overflow. So that's the overflow for the whole pond. And then that goes through and it goes down into our hosta bed. So that sort of is the mechanics of the pond. All the rock for both the pond, perimeter of the pond and the waterfall all came out of the property. So I removed that all out of the hedgerows. So that took me almost 6 months to get all the rock over here. So it was go around the whole perimeter of the property with an excavator, pull it out into the field, and then once I got it out in the field, go out with the tractor, bring them back. Some of them were so big I couldn't pick them up. Had to wait for the winter and push them back across the snow. And I'm sure when doing that, the first settlers, whoever settled this property first, must have thought, what the hell's this lunatic doing? They must have spent hours with horse or oxen taking all those rocks out, and there's that idiot bringing it back in again. What is he doing? So anyway, piled it all up behind, used it all in the pond. And yeah, I mean, obviously we planted the background. I think that was the fall of 17. And it's just been a case of bit of pruning, bit of replanting where we've needed. I mean, we have a nice selection of jack maples, conifers, obviously, and it gives us a really nice backdrop. And it was always intended as more as a wildlife / koi pond. And then obviously everything I pull out now, I just pull it out. I'll leave it on the sides. I won't do nothing with it today. I'll leave it there. So again, if there are any bugs, any lava, it'll give them a chance to crawl back into the pond. Tomorrow I'll come down, take all this stuff away. And then that's pretty well it for the pond for a while. And then once the leaves start falling, we do pull a net over, because obviously with the willows, it creates a lot of leaf material. So we'll pull the nets right over the top, leave them there for as long as we can. We like to try and get them out before everything freezes up. I don't like leaving them there for the winter. And then the pond freezes over. And just before freeze over, I'll put in the bubblers. So we put 2 bubblers in just to keep an air hole, so that once it freezes over, the gases that are given off by the decomposition of the material in the bottom of the pond can escape. It's not so the fish can breathe. It's those obnoxious gases can get away. And then the fish will go to sleep, and then we won't see nothing. And believe you me, when this snows and this fills up with snow, you don't even know there's a pond here. The pond will be covered with 4 or 5 feet of snow, and the ice generally is only about 1.5 to 2 inches thick. Fish disappear for the winter, and to the middle where you can see the big patch of water lilies, that's probably close to 4.5 feet deep. Rest of the pond, 2.5, maybe 3 feet deep here and there. And they survive really nicely. The koi were put in, they were only about 4 or 5 inches long when we put them in, and they do really well. And then goldfish, well, they come and go. We gain some, we lose some. We seem to be fairly stable number-wise. But yeah, so that's just a little brief history on the pond. As I say, we will catch up. Julie will come back out again later on, once I've, maybe probably tomorrow, once I've tidied everything up, and we'll give you a quick look around, see what I've done. And we'll see you next time. Thanks very much. Bye.